Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be how to make a shift dress. This dress was so beautiful and my client really liked this dress. It's really pretty, beautiful, and yes, very easy to make. So let's get right into this video. First things first is I'm going to take a block of fabric and I'm going to fold it into two. So I'm going to be cutting the front out to begin with. Now I'm putting in the full length of the dress. So take that measurement and mark it down on your fabric. This measurement is basically from your shoulder to wherever you want your dress to stop. Once I've marked the full length of the dress, I'm just going to take a ruler and draw a straight line. Onto the top edge of the fabric, which is the shoulder line, I'm going to impute the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and that came up to be 8 inches. From the shoulder line, I'm going to impute the shoulder to bust measurement for my client. So you're going to take your shoulder to bust measurement and put it down, mark it down, and then draw a straight line, horizontal line connecting them, like so. Alright, so next thing is you're going to take your shoulder to hip measurement and put it on your fabric, just like we did for the shoulder to bust. Now I'm bypassing the shoulder to waist because it's not needed here. This is a shift A-line dress, so the waist is not needed. On this line, on the bust line, I took the client's bust measurement and divided that by 4, and then I added 3 extra inches. So this depends on you how big or how small you want your dress to be. Now I must say I added 3 inches, but I had to go back and trim it down because it was too big. So yeah, I would recommend you add about 1.5 to 2 inches at most. Alright, so moving on to the hip line, I'm going to impute my client's hip measurement divided by 4, and I added about 4 inches. You guys, I don't know what I was thinking. Do not add 4 inches, that's way too big. Here I recommend adding about 2.5 to 3 inches at most, but yeah, again, it depends on how big you want it. Okay, so for the bottom of the dress, all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure whatsoever I have on the hip line, and I'm going to put it on the bottom line and add about 2 inches. So I grabbed my long ruler and I joined from my bust line to the very end of the dress. So now I'm just going to create my armhole curve for the front. I'm going to impute my shoulder measurement divided by 2 on the bust line. So that's 8 inches, and draw a straight line from the shoulder line to the bust line, just to make sure the line is straight. That's why I'm doing that. Before I draw the armhole curve, I'm going to put in the neck width. So because this is a shift dress, it's going to make sure the neck is quite wide. I used about 5.5 inches. Then I'm going to go to the shoulder line and go down 1 inch and draw my neckline slant. So connect from that 1 inch to the new point I just made. And the depth of the neck, I think I used about 2 inches. This depends on you if you want it quite high or low, but I wanted the neckline to be quite high. Using the French curve, I'm going to draw in the neckline. Alright, back to the armhole curve. I'm going to take the midpoint of that line and I'm going to mark it down, and then from the midpoint I'm going to go in by ½ an inch. If you are a big busted person, you might want to go in by 3/4 of an inch. And using your French curve, connect 3 points together. So connect from the tip of your shoulder to the point you mark and your bust measurement on the bust line. And here I'm just drawing another curve, and this is my back curve. I'm just joining it to the existing line like so. This is going to make it easy. I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to use the front as a pattern for the back as well, knowing that I have drawn my back armhole. So yeah, it's very easy. I am done cutting the front part of the fabric out, and I'm going to use this as a pattern to cut my back piece. So I'm going to just place it on another block of fabric which is folded into 2, and I'm going to use that as a pattern. and cut that out. Once I am done cutting it out, I'm going to take it apart, and then going back to the front piece of my fabric, I'm going to cut out the front armhole curve. Okay, so moving on to the sleeves, I'm going to start from that straight line. So that line there you see is my starting point, and I'm going to impute my cap height measurement. So how you get your cap height measurement, you're going to take your bust divided by 12 plus 1 inch. That's what works for me. That formula just works for me every single time. So I take my bust measurement, divide that by 12 and add 1 inch to it. I'm just going to grab my ruler and draw a straight line, and after that I'm going to put in my armhole measurement divided by 2 on that line. I'm going to grab my ruler, and then from that point I'm going to draw a straight line to the edge of the fabric like so. I'm going to grab the midpoint of that line and mark it down. Just so you know, I have a detailed video on how I draw my sleeves. Please check out the video. I've linked that video somewhere up here in the cards or description box, so please check it out. So next thing is I'm going to take the midpoint from that point I just marked down to the edge, and I'm going to do the same thing from that point to the end. So yeah, I'm taking the midpoint, and at the end I should have 3 points. I'm going to name them A, B, C. So from top to bottom, A, B, C. Okay, so for the front armhole curve, point A, I'm going to mark 0.8 inches. And then at point B, I'm going to mark 0.3 inches. And at point C, notice I'm marking it below. I'm going to mark 0.75 inches. Now I'm grabbing my French curve and I'm going to join the points together. So please feel free to use this measurement. They're standard measurements for any size. Okay, so I'm just going to measure the curve. And then I'm going to grab the front piece of the dress, and I'm also going to measure the armhole curve. So whatsoever I have there, I'm going to subtract it from the curve, the sleeve curve I just measured, and I'm going to add the difference to the end of the sleeve curve, just so it matches up. So next, impute the length of sleeves. So how long you want your sleeves, put it down, and then because I added elastic to the sleeves, I added 1.5 inches to that measurement for the elastic casing. Alright, so I'm drawing a straight line, and I'm going to connect the sleeves all the way down, and I'm going to cut my sleeves out. Alright, so before I actually cut out the curve, I'm going to draw my back armhole curve on this same side. So A is going to be 0.6 inches. B is going to be 0.3 inches. And point C is going to be 0.4 inches towards the bottom. For the beginner, please make sure you flip it to the other side and do this. You would have to draw the cap height at the other side, draw that straight line, do the midpoint, and then put in this back armhole curve. But for me, I just decided it's going to be easier to do it like this. That's only because I know what I'm doing. So in case you're a beginner, just make sure to flip it to the other side and draw in your back armhole curve. I'm just joining the points with my French curve. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, and here I'm making sure I'm so careful while cutting it so I don't make a mistake and have a terrible armhole curve. So yeah, please check out my other video. I have a detailed sleeve tutorial on how I draft my sleeves, so please check out that video, and yeah, it would give you more insight on how to draft your sleeves. Here I just wanted to be fast because I only had a few hours to be done sewing this dress, so yeah, check out that other video. It's in the description box below. Once you're done cutting, make sure to label the front and the back. So altogether you should have 2 sleeves, you should have 4 pockets, and 1 front piece of your dress and 1 back piece of your dress. So right here is my sleeve, and I have gone ahead to at the bottom here, I have gone ahead to serge it and then fold it and sew it all the way down for my elastic, make a casing for the elastic. So now here's the dress, and I have sewn it on the shoulder, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and join the sleeve. So I'm going to attach the sleeves to the shoulder, right side facing right side, and then I'll be back. Yeah, I've attached everything together, and now I'm just going ahead to attach the pockets. The previous video before this video here, I have every detail on how to cut and how to attach pockets to a dress, to this shift dress, so please check out that previous video. I did it like that so this video wouldn't be too long, so check out the other video. It gives you all the details on how to cut and attach the pockets to the dress. So I'm done attaching the pockets, and now I'm just going to sew the sides of the dress short. So I'm just going to sew all the way around, all the way down around the pockets, and I'm going to hem the bottom of the dress. And I also went ahead to fix the neckline of the dress with bias binding tape. So once I was done with all that, I was done with the dress. It was so easy, and I think I finished in less than 2 hours. Yes, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.